Blessings, divinity. How are you? Welcome to Spiritual Empower Hour with me, Nahkila Isha of Ashworth Life Sculpting. I'm in a silly mood. As if that's anything new, let me just turn the volume down on everything. How are you? Hey, Barbara, Coach B, Diamond. Okay, now, sis, tell me which one you prefer to be addressed as, because child, or does it matter? Let me know. How are you feeling today? How is everything going? Let me make sure the volume's down on here too. And it was not. And you know what? While I'm waiting, now I'm gonna tell you what just happened. This whole desk fell. Everything fell off of it. Hey mom, I'm about to turn the AC, make it cooler in here right quick. I'll be right back, y'all. Okay. All right. We's ready. Did you let me know which one you prefer, Diamond? Because you know I'm stuck on Diamond, but I can adjust. I can pivot. Who all is on? I see there's a few more people on. Leave me a comment. Let me know who's on and let me know where you're watching from. What state are you in? Let's see if you have any state twins on. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and get into it. I am going to pull from two different decks. I was guided to grab the Secret Light Language deck today, and I was also guided to grab okay, Diamond, got it. Lightworker Oracle. These were the decks I was guided to grab, so these are the ones I grabbed. I'm excited to see what messages are coming through for us today. And let me get us logged on to Facebook also, because you know Spirit had been saying it's 4:03, y'all, which is 7. Spirit had been saying do the whole live thing in multiple places. So 1 second. Let me see. How do I do this? Y'all, I'm telling you, I be acting brand new. Now, how did I not end up with the live selection? It's like the post. I tell you, let's see, what's on your mind? Okay, here it is. Go live. And I'm gonna put this here. Okay. And then I'm gonna sit this here. It's gonna be face down. No, I'm just playing, y'all. Okay. So let's get started. I'm not going to take up too much of your time being silly. I was giving us an opportunity to let more people join us, but we're going to go ahead and get started because, you know, the whole Empower Hour. So I'm being mindful. Spirit, what message do you have for us today as a collective? Take both, okay. And you know what? I was planning on doing the drawing today. Those of you that are in the Activating You Soul family, you guys know I had asked you to record your testimonial video. And I was going to pull for a free 30-minute session with me based on those of you that did that. And so I was going to pull that drawing today and totally forgot to get the stuff to do it. So I'll do it in the Soul family. But then I was also going to ask all of you, even those of you that aren't in Activating You, to go on my Google Ashworth Life Sculpting and to leave a review. You know, follow me on all platforms, leave a review to be entered into the drawing to win a free 30-minute reading or session. So yeah, so before I actually log out for my weekend, I will come over into the Soul family to pull that drawing, you guys, because it's been a minute and it's time to go ahead and pull. And if you guys are interested in, even those of you in the Soul family, you can do it again by going on Google, leaving a review on ashworthscottlifesculpting.com. And yeah, or Ashworth Scott Life Sculpt, and that's what you would look up on Google and leave a review there. And then I'll enter you guys in the drawing. This has to be done before our next Empower Hour, and then I'll do the drawing then. Okay, so let's see what Spirit has for us. Take both? Okay, well, here we go. Okay, so the first card we have is Create Space. Create Space. We also have Meditation. I love that card. It's beautiful. And then we have Fourth Ray of Harmony. And then we also have Initiation by Air. Okay, so there's a few things that are coming up as I look at these cards. Number one, you are being called to create space for expansion in your life, right? And one of the ways that you're being called to do that is by meditating, going into that space where everything is still. I've said this so many times, but when we are meditating and we're in that void, and I don't mean a guided meditation, right? Because when you're being guided, your mind is still being taken to a place. Your mind is still being engaged, right? I could have sworn I turned it down. Y'all saw me. I did. But anyways, that no coincidences, right? Spirit's like, ding, ding, pay attention. You're listening, you hear me? But anyways, so by doing this, by doing the guided, your mind is still being taken someplace. But when you're in that void and you're in that silence and in that stillness, you're able to create. And through create, I mean, Spirit is able to speak to you in a different way than Spirit speaks to you when you're in the middle of a crisis or when you are asking for guidance, right? So it's just like, how the Bible in the story, there was darkness, complete darkness. And then God said, let there be light, right? And earth was formed out of the darkness. So it's the same thing that happens with you. You are God in human form. So when you're in that darkness, that is your space to create, right? And the word, the spoken word, let there be light, that's Spirit source, the divine God speaking to you. So if you're not taking that time out to go into that quiet space, then what you're doing is you're simply surviving. You're simply maintaining. But the elevation, right, and the creation happens in that void, which is your meditation. So that's super important, super important. Now we have the initiation by air and the fourth ray of harmony. Now, when you look at these cards, there's a few things coming up. With this one, I'm receiving two things. I'm receiving number one, silence your mind, right? I did a video not too long ago where I was talking about you're not that voice that you hear within, the voice that's playing that negative Nancy narrative, that voice that's telling you you're not good enough, you're not capable, that voice that pumps fear through you. Although it may be in your voice, right? It's not you. It's a result of past trauma, past experience, past judgments, and now your own self-judgment. It's a voice of fear, right? So what you're being called to do is silence those voices, and not just silence them in the form of shut up, be quiet, right? But silence them by exploring them. Right? We've been talking about the parts within. So you do that by asking whatever part is showing up in that voice, because you know the frequency you've chosen. You know the life you've chosen. You know the belief system you've chosen for yourself, right? And if that voice doesn't align with that, then that lets you know that is not your voice, right? And that is not the voice to allow to guide your life. So you ask whatever part is showing up in that voice, what is it requiring? Why is it in this space, right? And then you nurture it based on what it reveals to you. And then you silence it through the nurturing, through the healing, through the release, right? What you're being called to do is tap in to the light. We've been talking about Spirit guiding us since I started doing this in 2016, right? And this is the key. When you're being guided by Spirit, by source, by God, right? You are not going to be confused. You are not going to be tricked or led astray by those voices that we sometimes refer to as our human hangups, right? If you're doing it 50-50, then you're going to receive 50-50 results. But when you're being guided 100% of the time, right? You're going to be able to accomplish, do, achieve, receive, manifest, create whatever it is that you're choosing for yourself in this 3D realm, right? Do you feel you're worthy? Do you believe you can do that? Because y'all, we be talking about what we can do, what's possible, what we deserve, what we're capable of. But the question is, do you believe that? Go within and take an inventory, take a self inventory, right? And all the things that you're choosing for yourself in this life, right? All the things. Just take some quiet time to ask that inner being within, do I really believe that I'm worthy of this, right? And then go within and ask, do I really believe that I'm capable? And here's a big one, because we talk about being spirit led, but do you really trust and believe that spirit has you and that spirit will guide you into everything that you desire and deserve? Because if you don't, there's a block, right? If you don't, there's a block. But here's the beautiful thing about blocks: wherever there's a block, there is a solution through your healing that can get you to release that block, overcome that block, and then shift, right? Here's something else that is important to understand and recognize, because this has come up with a few people that I'm serving, and it is that whole blame. A lot of people get angry at spirit. A lot of people are angry at God because there's still this misconception that there is this mystery God that sits somewhere on a throne in heaven, right? And decides who receives blessings and who receives punishments. Air quotes on punishments, right? I'm saying air quotes because there ain't no visual over on Facebook. But anyways, who receives? And that is not how this works. God, the universe, spirit, the most high responds to you. So anytime something is going wonky in your life or something isn't as you choose it to be, this is a blessing. You know why? Because you are in control. You get to decide to shift, to release, to heal whatever's blocking you so that you can create, receive, manifest, be what you choose to be, right? But a lot of people are still carrying this anger with God. And it's not God that's stopping you, it's you, right? So it's time for us to take responsibility, take ownership, right? Shift our belief system and understand that God responds to you. Nothing is happening to you, everything is happening in response to you. So after you go through and you take this self inventory to check to see, do I truly believe that I'm capable? Do I truly believe that I'm worthy, right? And do I truly believe that God's spirit, the most high, the universe has my back, right? And will respond to me according to my frequency, my belief, my speech, my actions, my thoughts, right? Then it's time for you to look at, how am I moving? How much of how you move, how you show up every day is based on where you are today? Like what your life looks like today. How much of you shows up as your today version of you? Right? Okay. In certain things, yeah, you're going to show up in your today version. But 99% of how you show up, if you're choosing to elevate beyond your today version, is to tap in to your future self when your life is exactly how you've been praying it to be, manifesting it to be, creating it to be, calling on it to be, right? Exactly like that, tapping into that version of you and asking that version of you, how did you get there? Because listen, we were taught as crazy to talk to ourselves so we wouldn't heal, grow, elevate, and figure this shit out. But in reality, it's essential. So when you talk to these parts, you will learn so much about yourself that your conscious mind has no idea about, right? No idea about, because it's your unconscious self, which are those parts that's driving you. Everything you do, your beliefs, right? Your fears, your worries, your stresses, your doubts, your blocks. And until you figure out that part of you, you're just going to be walking around, in the dark, eyes closed, right? Repeating cycles. So get in touch with that future part of you and ask, how did you get there? What's your schedule like every day? How do you show up every day? What are you doing with your hours every day? Right? And be in that mindset now. Be in that mindset. What is that version of you mindset like? You can't get there if you're still in the past and if you claim stuck in the present, right? Because a lot of times I hear people say, "Oh, I'm broke. I can't do that." Eliminate "I'm broke" out of your vocabulary. Don't even let that come out of your mouth, right? Even, I've heard people when they talk about an illness, they'll claim it, my sickness, my, right? Cancel delete my sickness. I ain't claiming that. It's an example, right? But they'll claim it. They're taking ownership of it, right? So oftentimes when I've heard of someone being sick, I will say so and so is overcoming whatever it is, right? I don't say so and so has whatever it is. Those little changes in how we speak make a huge difference in our reality, because we've talked about how powerful our words are. Our words cast spells. Our words carry a frequency, and that frequency is a part of what creates our 3D reality. So being mindful of how you speak. We've been talking about lack language for since I've been doing this, right? And a lot of people are still using lack language because why? You'd have to ask them, right? But let me tell you why lack language is so important to be shifted into abundance language. Because when you say I need whatever, you could say I need a bath, right? Yesterday I went out in nature. I mean, for real, I went out in nature yesterday. This is real life. And went down by the water, and child, my feet got so dirty and I just felt so grimy, and it was hot and I was sweaty. But I didn't say I need no bath, right? I'm gonna take a bath. I'm looking forward to a bath. It serves my highest good to bathe, right? So, in terms of need, when you say I need, the universe just hears I need. You've made a declaration. And so now the universe is going to respond and give you more need, situations where you need, because you've claimed ownership of need. I need, right? I want the same thing. What does it feel like to want? The action of wanting, what is that? It means that you're longing for something that you do not have. So when you say I want, as opposed to I'm choosing, which is abundant. When you say the lack version, I want, what's now happening is the universe hears, oh, you want? Okay, cool. Let me put you in situations where you want. And you could think of it as being the simplest thing. Let me tell you, y'all, I've said this before. We've seen the Willie Lynch letter, but the letter I like to see is the one that they created for the world, okay? Because if you think we've been taught to speak like this coincidentally, if you think school mimics a jail by accident, if you think all the programming that as we're on our healing journey and our journey of elevation, we're releasing, if you think any of that is coincidental, let me tell you, it's not. It is not. Because the more lack you speak, the more you're in lack. The more you feel, right? The more you create the things that make you afraid. Remember, you are the divine in human form. In human form. And what you've been taught to do is disconnect from your divinity and be totally connected and plugged into your humanity. And we know that balance is essential in everything, including our existence. So, what that means, you being human and divine, is that you are able, capable, right, and worthy of creating just as God creates. But when you forget your power, it doesn't mean your power goes away. It just means your power is open for the taking. And when you look on the news and you see all these horrific stories, when you hear about all these horrific ailments, right? A lot of what was going on, people were not getting sick simply because of this virus. People were getting sick because they were afraid of getting sick, so they attracted sickness. Why aren't a whole bunch of people getting sick now? Where did it go? It's because they've moved us to the next thing to fear, right? And so now the rate of the sickness is going down because it's not on the top of everyone's mind. They're not afraid of being sick. And this came up this week, and I'm only talking about it because I was guided to. But a lot of us look at who's our president, right? And a lot of us get afraid, we get angry, we feel hopeless. We have all these emotions that are typically low vibrating. That's not by accident, right? But I'm going to tell you something. Before he was elected, I was told he's going to be elected, and he is the best candidate. That message didn't come in because of whatever he's doing is correct, right, accurate, positive, or whatever, right? But think about it. Sometimes, in order for something new to be rebuilt, we've got to reach a bottom right? A pain so deep, a discomfort so incredible that it forces us to rise up and do something about it. And doing something about it doesn't mean rioting, picketing, it don't mean none of that. It means us. How are we going to shift us so that what's happening on the outside has no effect on our inside world, right? I told y'all, how did I get here where I am today? It's because I reached my spiritual bottom. There was nowhere else for me to go but up, right? And so a lot of times we forget all the things that we learn on our healing journey. One of them being everything that happens in my life serves my highest good. So if that is true, when something's happening in my life and it don't feel good, it doesn't mean it's still not serving me in some kind of way. So what do we do then? We then go on our journey of discovering, well, how is this serving my highest good? And it starts with self. When we start with self, we figure it out for self, we heal self, we find out our role in all of this, our purpose in all of this, our calling in all of this, and then we show up as we're guided to show up. Then we begin to pass that on to others and we begin to make a difference. Now, if we all existed in the knowledge, the fact of the matter is, I create my reality. It does not matter what's going on in the world around me. My grandmother used to say, one monkey don't stop no show. And let me tell you, the outside world is one monkey. It don't stop no show. Whatever I'm choosing to feel, I'm still in power. Whatever I choose to experience, I'm still in power. Whatever I choose to create, manifest, receive, I'm still in power. Right? I control my frequency, so I control my reality. How do you do that? Number one, you recognize everything that happens in my life serves my highest good. You surrender to the flow of life, meaning you don't push, you don't pull. But when you're in the midst, you pause and you ask for guidance. And when you're guided, you do exactly what you're guided to do, exactly how, right? Right. And if you were to stop giving your power away, you would see first a shift in your life. And then as you see it happen in your life, you'll be doing like I'm doing. You may not be a life coach, right? You may not be doing retreats. However, everyone you talk to, because it's not a job, it's not a business. This is my life. This is the way I live. This is my lifestyle. This is who I am. So whether I'm serving or whether I'm just having a conversation, who I am is going to always show up. And I'm always going to spread the gospel. Okay. And so will you. And the more you spread the truth that you've received from source, right? The more it becomes your life. You don't turn it on and off. And you know how they say each one teach one? Well, the more of us that remember who we are and step into our power and stop allowing it to be right and utilized for low vibe and fear and all that mess, because they're powerless without us. They are powerless without us. There's nothing to fear. There's not, my mom used to always quote that. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. This life is meant to be enjoyed. It's meant to be easy. It's meant to be just, whew, you know? It's meant to be all that feel good that gives you chills, goosebumps when you just think about it. I think I love this little life. That's what life is meant to be. And it starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with us to stop just being a part of this world. We're in it, but we're not of it. Don't be of it. If you truly believe that you can manifest anything, why do you start getting afraid when the economy starts to change, right? I'm doing air quotes again for those of you that can't see, but why do we start to reroute? Our instant thing is, "Oh no, this is happening. Let me do this," instead of, "I have faith, guide me. This is what I'm choosing, and I'm still choosing that. I still have the power, and I trust and know that no matter what, together, we going to make it happen." Right? And when you feel those human fears start to pop up, you get into the healing of them. You acknowledge the fear as what it is. It is a fear, false, what is it? False evidence appearing real, right? False evidence appearing real, right? That's what that fear thing is. The bottom line is it's some false shit that is real because we believe it's real. They done hammered it into our heads enough to now we're like, oh no, that oh no is what brings it all about. So if spirit don't say reroute, you don't reroute. And we've had this conversation. Remember how I said when I finally did start working outside of the home, my boys, I would tell them something that they could not do. They would reach out. And if they didn't get me, can you believe they would just go ahead and do it anyway? And I had to say to both of them, mostly I seen because he's 7 years older than Samaj, but I said it to both of them. If you don't hear me say yes, it's still a no. And that's how spirit guides us. If we been guided and we done chose and spirit said this is how you get there, and then things outside start to change, and spirit don't say adapt in this way, then why are you adapting in that way? Where's your faith? Where's your knowing? Right? Where do you stand in your power? So, anyways, let me see what y'all saying. Hey, Alexa, how are you? Okay, so we also have initiation by air. Oh, you know what? Let me just say this. There's so much coming in as I look at this. Number one, what I heard when I said that was get out and get some fresh air. Breathe that air in nice and deep. On some days, because we have rain today, it's still nice and warm, but on days when it's rainy, get out there. I remember when I lived in Washington State, and one of my sisters in light had did a bowl. It was like a bunch of healing instruments, right? And it was raining so hard. Oh my goodness, it was raining so hard. Everybody was waiting to leave until it stopped. In Washington State's known for rain, but it was even a lot for Washington State this day. But I actually went outside and I did one of these where I just laid back and let the rain hit me and like just was breathing, and I even twirled around in it, y'all. Because I'm a big kid at heart, so I'm gonna take every opportunity to let little Nahkila come on out and play. But anyways, it felt so good and cleansing. It felt so good and cleansing. But a lot of times what we do is we reserve our grounding for when it's nice weather, when it's warm, right? But don't. All the elements have something different to bring us as far as cleansing of our spirit, because we're made up of all the elements. So if we're just doing it grounding in one particular type of element, we're only getting one particular type of healing, right? So but anyways, that's what was coming in. And then also you're being called to open your heart. One of the things that I said when I was talking about the pivot was the question of who was the first person to break your heart? Because you'd be surprised how a broken heart will hinder you. And a broken heart is not just relating to love, like a relationship with someone, non-platonic, right? A broken heart can be a teacher who told you weren't smart enough in so many words or exactly in those words. It can be a parent, right, who made you feel like nothing you did was right or you couldn't do anything correctly, right? It could be a friend in school that stopped being friends with you because of whatever. It could be anything. It could be a sibling, whoever, whatever, right? It could be an image that you saw over and over again on television that didn't look like you, right? It can be a whole lot of things, but the question is, who is the first person that broke your heart? What was the first thing that broke your heart? Because when your heart is broken, it's hard to show up whole and complete when you feel shattered, right? So if you go back to that moment and you answer that question, who or what was the first person or thing that broke my heart? That'll give you insight on where you're being called to start your healing, you know? Because when you heal your heart, when your heart is healed, then you start to know how perfect, whole, and complete you are. It's no longer just something that spiritual people, enlightened people say or tell you, or even that you say to yourself. It now becomes a fact for you, right? And also that broken heart molds so much of who you are, and it molds so much of how you show up. And that broken heart, right? That broken heart starts to create those parts within you, and each part carries a piece of your broken heart that has a different story to tell from a different perspective of your pain, right? So yeah, that's one of the things that you're being called to do. I'm going to pull two more cards for us. Oh, we have the pink rose of Lady Nada. Okay, and I'm gonna pull one from this deck too. Take that one. We have expansion, number 44. So one of the things that came up when this card came out was to look at the scenery in this card. And we talk about heaven and we talk about hell, and we've talked about it before, right? Us on Empower Hour. And I've shared how heaven and hell is a state of mind, right? But when you look at this picture, if we were to put what heaven feels like into a picture, this is what this feels like, right? And so one of the things you're being called to do is be more in flow with the natural ebbs and flows of your own body, right? Your own body. And your body is inclusive of your physical form, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, right? All of that. And so being more in tune and more in flow. And also when with her name being Lady Nada, from the word nada, the thing that came up was to not be attached to anything except your peace, right? To not be attached to anything except your peace, because from peace, that's where everything else blooms. So when you're attached to your peace, and when your goal every day is to exist in your peace, from your peace comes your power, right? From your power comes your abundance, right? From your abundance comes your creativity, right? And abundance isn't just financial. We're talking about when you have an abundant mindset, right? You're able to create anything. And from that creation, you're able to make a difference. You're able to contribute to the shift, right? So don't be so attached to something that it creates this heaviness or this fear, right? This fear of it not happening, this fear of it not lasting, this fear of it being too good to be true. When you're just flowing and you're living in the moment and you're allowing yourself to enjoy life moment to moment, when you're allowing yourself to find the purpose in even your pain moment to moment, it puts a whole new frequency within you, and it creates a whole new reality for you. It starts opening you up to heaven on earth, right? Experiencing heaven on earth. Just like heaven is a state of mind, so is hell. So if you lack peace, then that's what you're existing in, a state of hell. And hell can be many different levels depending on where you are with your lack of peace, right? How deep into it you are and what you believe in, what you speak in, right? What you vibe in, what frequency you sending out. So yeah. And so this card expansion, it is what it is. It's just spirit saying it is time to expand. And what do we think about first when I say it's time to expand? A lot of times we're thinking about our material world, right? Like really, if you get real with yourself, you're not what your mind has been programmed to say it is. Because here's the thing, even in this world of spirituality has become trendy. We've talked about this, right? So there's all sorts of things on social media. It's the hot topic now of conversation. And so we may say, oh, expansion means, and it may be some regurgitated spiritual response. But if you go within and you really allow your heart, your soul, your body, and your physical being tell you what that is, you'll often find that it's not, that your physical being is not seeing it as a state of mind, right? Your physical being is seeing it, expansion, to be more money, a bigger home, a nicer home, right? More product to create, right? Like that's where we go as humans, because there's still a part of us that's programmed to believe that's what expansion looks like. But what expansion truly is, it's your peace. It's your peace. Can you be in peace no matter what your best friend thinks of your decision that spirit guided you to do? Can you be at peace no matter who the president is? Can you be at peace no matter how those that are still asleep and existing in fear see the world becoming, or fear the world is, right? Can you be at peace through that? Can you be at peace when you're guided to let something go that you held so close to your heart? Can you be at peace when spirit calls you out and say, it's up to you? Your life is feeling fucked up because of you. Can you be at peace with that? Through that peace, you can take it in without internalizing it, right? Without feeling judged, and you can shift. You can shift, you can step into your power, and you can shift. Okay, let's see what you all are saying. Um, let's see. Alexa said, I've been getting this message. I know spirit is ready to expand through me, and I've been overcoming a block. I'm grateful to be moving through it. I'm grateful that you are too, because yeah, it's through us. You know, y'all know in the Soul Family, that song, Ordinary People, how many times, by Danabelle Hall. If you have not listened to it, I encourage everyone who's either watching this with me now or will watch it after the replay. I encourage you to look up that song, Ordinary People by Danabelle Hall, and I encourage you to listen to it. Most often I can't get through it without crying, but it's like happy tears and just tears of like, I can't explain it. My soul is just grateful, so grateful to be awake, and so honored to be chosen, right? And grateful to not just be chosen, but to step up to the plate and do what my soul agreed to do, right? Because a lot of us are chosen, but we always have free will to say yes to our calling or to say, I guess I'll see you next lifetime, right? So, yeah, but it's just that song. It just talks about ordinary people, how God chooses ordinary people, uses ordinary people, people just like me and you who are willing, right? Who are willing. So, listen to that song and just let me know. Come back to this and let me know like how it made you feel and what you got out of it. If there were any messages that you received just through that song on how you're being called to show up as your ordinary self. Sometimes we feel like little old me, you know, how am I? It's just starting with you and then naturally flowing and being who you are. Because a lot of times, you know, when it comes to healing and elevating, people often fear that when they choose to live a spirit-led life, they must give up so many things and they must become so different. But in reality, it's like those things that you are not, they literally just fall away. You don't have the same desires to do the same things. You don't, but if you do, guess what? There's no judgment because God calls you to be you, right? Spirit don't say go out and act a certain way. Spirit say just come as you are, right? Come as you are, right? So it's literally time for you to get grounded in who you are truly on a soul level. There's another song, Remember. I can't remember the name. Remember, let me see. Because I can find it when I pull it up. But anyways, that song is great. It's a great one to just breathe to, right? Because I wonder if I'm gonna be able to get on YouTube from here, being that I'm live. Let's see. No, that's not it. You know what? I turned off my search history. Let me see if it brings it up. And so it used to come right up. You know what, you guys? It's in the Soul Family. I will find it and share it. And if any of you remember the song, the artist, the song Remember, you guys know the song that I've played multiple times in the Soul Family. I posted. Will you share it in the comments? But anyways, that song is really beautiful too. And it's just really calming, you know, and it just puts you in this soft space, you know. And let me back up too, because earlier when we were talking about meditation, now I mentioned how being in that void, in that silence, in that stillness, how powerful it is for you on your journey. That doesn't mean to give up guided meditation because that has a place too. But I would never substitute just that silence in the void meditation for guided meditation. If I were to choose one or the other, it would be the total void, right? You know, and don't be afraid to go deep, y'all. Because I remember when I first started meditating again, I got scared a couple of times. Like literally, I felt like I was going into a dimension that I might not be able to get out of, right? Because I had never gone that deep. And it was like this euphoric feeling, like it almost felt like I was high and it just felt unreal. And literally, I would pull myself out because I was like, okay, where am I going? Am I gonna be able to get out? Right? Just being, I'm gonna say silly, but really it was just unaware. I didn't know, right? Until Spirit said, no, you're fine. Next time, lean into it, right? Lean into it. And then I started to lean into it. And of course I was safe. But if you have this fear of getting lost in different dimensions, what I recommend you do, whether it's through meditation or if you find yourself astral traveling, like create a cord that's a retractable cord. It can go however far your soul goes, right? and have a way, whether it's to pinch your fingers together, whatever you choose it to be, a way to where you can have that cord come right back, bring your soul back gently into your body, right? At your instant command. And that way, that'll give your mind, the part of our mind that becomes overactive, that's not used to being still and just being in flow, it'll give your mind that sense of security to know that I can always come back, right? So yeah. Let's see. So yes, y'all, that is the messages that we received today. As I put these cards back, I'm gonna pull one more card, and then we'll get into the reading. So if anyone is on that would like a reading, it's 25 per question or 25 for a general. And even if you're not getting a reading while we're still on, if someone else is, stay on, because it'll probably resonate with you too. And if you guys are on and you haven't given it a thumbs up, if this has resonated with you in any way, will you be sure to give it a thumbs up, please, por favor, senor and senora and senorita, mamacita, take that one. Okay. So we have, I can't make it up. We have first ray of power. And we were talking about our power, right? Thank you for those of you that put the thumb up. We were talking about our power just a few minutes ago. And so this is your reminder. You are powerful. You're powerful. You're capable, right? It really just this right here. This right here. This is where everything is, right here. If you shift this, everything will shift, right? Shift this, everything will shift. So our biggest takeaway is when we're afraid, right? We're being called to release fear. But releasing fear does not mean fear does not show up. It does not mean sweeping it under the rug and saying, no, 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 you're not allowed here. It means becoming friends with your fear, right? And what I mean by that is when you're afraid, if you start to gently talk to that part of you that's afraid, and you start to genuinely show up as someone who is choosing to understand, just like a person, if you were to do that, that person's going to open up and talk to you and give you all the information that you're asking for, right? When you create a bond. So instead of rejecting those things that we're told, oh, it serves your highest good to release this, it serves your highest good to release that, don't reject it, understand it. So that it gives you everything that's required so that you can release it in peace, and release it in peace and gratitude. Because you know what? Oftentimes fear is just a part of you that's showing up with the intention to keep you I was going to say safe and protected at the same time. Keep you safe and protected. Why am I always attempting to say two words at once? It happens all the time. But no matter how many times I attempt to do it, it never comes out that way. But maybe that is a word, right? The word combined is the word. Anyways. So yeah. So when you do that, right, you'll be able to release it with peace. And by you having the gratitude, understanding that every part of you has one intention, and that intention is to keep you safe, keep you protected, and to look out for you. It's just that the operating system that we're operating on oftentimes is rooted in pain, trauma, right? It's rooted in a mindset of however old we were when that trauma first occurred, right? So the way that those parts go about serving us, it's not always conducive to who we are today and what we're choosing in life, right? Because we get to a point where it no longer serves our highest good to disconnect from our bodies and leave while we're being traumatized, or it no longer serves our highest good to, be up in arms, because now we're not just blocking the painful stuff, we're blocking all the stuff, the heartfelt, warm stuff, and the pain, right? And so what we're being called to replace it with is faith and love and, all those things. So becoming acquainted with, friends with, getting to know, allowing it to reveal to you what it requires to leave with peace, and then showing gratitude. And that goes back to, you can't love yourself. You can't love yourself fully when you're ashamed, right? Or you are judging your past self. because everything you were then brought you to who you are today, and everything you were then and everything you are today is going to get you to who you choose to be tomorrow. Okay, so that is the message, y'all. Let me know if any of you are choosing to do a reading, and if so, we will go ahead and get into it. If not, then I'm going to actually see, do you have any questions, not like reading type questions, and I'm going to go ahead and log off Facebook because we're done with the message part of Empower Hour. But yeah, I would say, like, let's just chat for a while because it's not 5 yet. And we did so good with our hour. You know, sometimes Spirit is like, oh, it's cool, keep going. And today Spirit was like, be mindful, Empower Hour. So yeah. Oh, it's my pleasure, Janelle. Alexis, Alexa, why was I about to call you Janelle? Because you remember Janelle who was in the Soul Family? And it's so funny because I've been thinking about her. I've actually sent her a few things on her inbox, but haven't heard from her. So I'm gonna see if I can get in touch with her just to make sure she's doing okay. But yeah, Alexa, thank you. It's my pleasure. My pleasure. And you did a live too that I'll be watching. I have not watched yet. So do you guys have any questions or anything that's coming up for you after us having this Empower Hour? And let me know who all is on. Leave a comment. Let me know who's on. Let me know. Let me know. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching too. And actually, I will be able to watch before I shut down, which is probably why I was told to be mindful of the time today so that I could watch before I shut down for my weekend, because normally it would be after, we would be getting done even after the time that I shut down for my weekend. And then also I'm reminding myself to do the drawing too for those of you that did your video reviews. Now, if you're in the Soul Family and you would like to do do a video review, I still appreciate it. So I'll do another round of drawings if you do your video review. And then if you also do a review on Ashworth Scott Life Sculpting on Google, you'll get 2 entries. And whether you've had a reading, whether you're in the mentorship or have been in the mentorship, whether you can give a testimony about Empower Hour, just whatever you feel led to share is always appreciated. So yeah. Awesome sauce, mom. Yes, yes, yes. Diamond, you still here? And if you guys are on, I would say follow each other, subscribe to each other if you haven't, because I know most of you also create content and have messages that you share. Diamond is now, who's under Barbara B. Carter, is an end of life doula, y'all, and an energy healer. So listen. And Alexa is an amazing artist and delivers some amazing content through her art. It's just amazing. So definitely follow their profiles and then follow all of their platforms so that you can be in the loop and in the know. Barbara B. Carter, who we call Diamond, has Iridescent Soul Center. That's her business. And Alexa has like these mugs and just amazing things with her artwork on it. So yeah, link up, y'all. Link up. Of course, my pleasure. My pleasure. So yes, yes, yes. Who else is on? Because Alexa and Diamond said they're here. Mom, I see you're here, but there's a few more people on than I believe one more person. So I appreciate you too. Yep, yep, yep. So I'm excited. Do you guys have any plans? I was gonna say this weekend, but it's tomorrow's Monday, so it's my Saturday and a half. My Saturday and a half. And then how do I say? Well, it's my Saturday and a half, and then my Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are my days off. So yeah. And those of you that are in the Soul Family, if you have not signed up for a group session, I recommend you do so. I'm like, wait, let me see when is group session. Go ahead and sign up for group session if you haven't already. I'm looking forward to it. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I'm just looking forward to it, y'all. Let me see. Okay, the first one is on the 12th. on Saturday the 12th, and the second one is the following Saturday. Yeah. Well, it looks like nobody's getting a reading and no one's asking too many questions. Let's see. Did you get to see cherry blossoms? I didn't pictures I took yesterday. No, I didn't. I didn't, but I've been seeing them like here and they're so beautiful. So beautiful. But will you share it in the Soul Family? Like share the link in the Soul Family? Also, you guys, Alexa's doing the art for the oracle deck that I'm creating. So I'm really excited about that. Really excited to see just her beautiful art come to life in that. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, anytime you create something and you feel like the message or whatever it is could benefit the soul family, share it. Share it. So yep. Well, y'all, I am not gonna keep you. This has been great. It feels weird that it's over so soon, but the messages don't always have to be long. It just is what it is, right? And so it came and then we went. Oh man. But yeah. But anyways, I'm sending y'all love and lots of healing energy and lots of prayers towards you just feeling your best self, stepping into your power, setting the intention that you really know who you are, you show up as who you are. And even when your human self is showing up, you always remember that there is a duality within you. And just as much as you're human, you're also divine. And so you can express and feel, right? You got to feel it to heal it, but you don't have to become it. You can always tap into that divinity. So as you're nurturing your human wounds, your human hangups, you're able to do so because you're always tapped into your divinity, right? Oftentimes we get lost in the feeling, but we don't have to become the feeling or take it on as our truth, because a lot of those feelings that come up, it's not even rooted in what's happening in our now. It's rooted in the past. So if you can just remind yourself, I always say, well, what did your divine self say, right? Because even when I'm in the midst of healing a 3D wound, I'm always connected to my divinity. So it's a combination of me actually choosing through the releasing, through the tears, through this expressing, like I'm literally releasing it and then calling on spirit to guide me. It's oftentimes self energy healing, it's self breathing, it's self whatever I'm guided to do, right? Because it varies depending on what it is. That's what I'm doing. So I'm never just sitting in it, right? I'm never just waddling in it, because the sitting in it, the waddling in it is how that feeling starts to affect our frequency, right? We don't have to be these iron hearted beings, right? No, because we are just as human as we are divine. So it's natural for us to feel things. A few times I had found myself being sad, like I just felt sad. And I'm like, but I'm not sad. Like my life is very happy. I'm actually not sad at all. But what I realized is like, I've experienced a lot of things in life that are sad and that made me sad. And sometimes there's parts of us that just pops up and is like, hey, I'm sad. Heal me, Seymour. You know what I mean? So then we pay attention and we heal. But the key and the thing that I'm so grateful for is being able to recognize it as a part of my past self that's showing up and not looking at it as my current, because I'm very in tune with who and what my current is, right? So when I'm feeling off, I don't even just assume it's past, right? I don't assume anything. I treat everything as its own new first time, right? But I'll go in and I'll find out, what is this, right? And then I get to work doing whatever it requires to heal it. So if you can always remember that you're equally divine and you're equally human, and you're able to give both parts of you a space to exist, and both parts of you the space to serve one another and your current self, a-okay. A-okay. So that's a really amazing start. Really amazing start. So, all right, y'all. I am sending you love. Wait, real quick, because I'm looking at the time. It's 4:54. See, it's an hour. So we're gonna stretch this hour. 4:54. I'm being guided to tell you what that message is. At first, I was gonna tell you to look it up, but then I was told, nope, go ahead and look it up. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So angel number 454 is a blend of the vibrations and energies of number 4 and number 5, with number 4 appearing twice, amplifying and magnifying its influences. Number 4 resonates with patience, truth, integrity, practicality, working steadily towards goals and aspirations, systems and order, self initiation, building solid foundations and enthusiasm coupled with determination. Number 4 also relates to the energies of the archangels. Number 5 resonates with major life changes, making important choices and decisions, promotion and advancements, adaptability and versatility, personal freedom and individuality, life lessons learned through experience. Create a plan for yourself and your life. List your short and long term goals and find strategy to achieve them. If you have an idea for a new project or business venture, or are considering a better job or career path, use your creative mind to establish a plan of action, then move to the next level of your life. Angel number 454 indicates that the ideas, thoughts, visions, and desires you have been experiencing are an indication that it's time to prioritize your life and make the necessary changes in order to align yourself with your soul mission and true self. Look upon these changes with optimism and enthusiasm, and trust that they will lead to wonderful opportunities for you to shine. Angel number 454 is a message that the angels are helping you with the current project that will bring necessary changes into your life. Your hard work and toil towards achieving your goals has brought about new opportunities for you to take advantage of. Know that these changes have been divinely guided and are in alignment with your purpose and soul passion. Be open and receptive to these new changes and chances, and look upon them as blessings and rewards to work well done. Angel number 454 is a message that the life changes ahead of you or currently taking place have been out orchestrated by the angels and your spirit guide or guardian angel. They have heard your prayers and positive affirmations and have witnessed you working towards achieving your goals and bringing positive changes into your life. As a result, your desires will come to fruition. Trust that all is going to divine plan in your life. And it breaks down to angel number 4. So, yes, yes, yes. So, yep, that's our message. Right. As I was reading it, Diamond, I was like, well, I know this. I know it resonates with Diamond at least. And I was like, but I feel it also resonates with Janelle. I'm sure it resonates with all of us. So, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. So, so yes, again, if you have not, oh, wow. It's Alexa said it's 157 there, and that equals 4. That's the maze ball. See, we can't make it up. So I'm going to go over into the soul family. I'm going to do the drawing for those of you that did your video, your testimonial video. If any of you would like to be entered into a drawing for a free 30-minute either session or reading with me, you can Google Ashworth Scott Life Sculpting, leave a review there. If you're in the soul family, you can do a video recording testimony. You'll get one entrance. And then if you also do a Google review of Ashworth Scott Life Sculpting, you'll get another. I'm going to do our announcements now. We have our day retreat that's coming. It was postponed because one of our sisters, she was having surgery, and then she asked if we could postpone again. Everyone attending agreed, so we postponed the date. Let me tell you exactly the date that it's going to be, because we do still have space available if you're interested in the day retreat. Let me find my inbox, go into the group chat. It is June 26th from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. And it's going to be here in Tennessee. So if you're interested in joining us for that, get at your girl. Let's get you registered, get your spot reserved. We also are enrolling for the Activating You All-Inclusive Retreat, which is in Bali. And we're also enrolling for the Accelerated Retreat. So bottom line is, if you're interested in joining for any of the retreats, please don't hesitate to schedule a consultation. Let's talk about it. And you can be put on a payment plan, right? So just because you're on a payment plan don't mean you got to go to the very next one. You can be put in a payment plan. We can come up with something that fits into your budget, and you can go to whatever retreat is happening when you're done. So don't let money be the thing that stops you. And if you're interested in working with me or Sharon, whether it's one-on-one or in a group setting, schedule a consultation with either of us to do so. And if you're interested in energy healing with Jillian, the shaman on our team, the links are all in the bio, the description of every social platform. So it's in the description here, and all my other social platforms is in the bio. So yeah. Let's do it. Don't let money be the thing that stops you. Let's connect. Let's see. We can put you into a custom plan and make it work. If you're being guided to work with me, Sharon, or Jillian, we'll make it happen. Okay. So I'm sending you lots of love. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Deasia. If you just got here and you didn't see it from the beginning, I do recommend watching it from the beginning because the messages that came through, I feel will benefit all of us. So, all right. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.